1460 WVOX.
Now, live from Whitney Media, 1460 WVOX, the Greenburgh Report, with Greenburgh Town Supervisor Paul Feiner. You can join in the conversation at 914-636-0110. Now on 1460 WVOX, here's Greenburgh Town Supervisor Paul Feiner.
Good morning, I'm Paul Feiner. I'm the Greenburgh Town Supervisor. And I just wanted to mention a few years ago, had the opportunity to work with Professor Pauline Helen Mosley, who is a professor at Pace University, and she was helping the town with technology, volunteering her time. And Pauline is doing a lot of, great things. And, I learned that she's also involved in the Youth Mission of Life, church, and they have a home at 375 Dobbs Ferry Road in the town of Greenburgh. And she's done a lot of social service types of work and uplifting people. So I invited her to join us today. And joining us is Elder Rachel Sampson and Elder John Sarlo. And they're also involved in the congregation. And it's really a special time for the congregation because the congregation is celebrating its 70th anniversary. So I'd just like to welcome you, and maybe, Pauline, you could just start by just telling us a little bit about yourself. Maybe all our guests could just introduce themselves.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you so much, Paul, for inviting me to share a little bit about the 70th Platinum Jubilee that our Youth Mission of Life just recently celebrated. I'm proud to say, Paul, that I am a product of the Youth Mission of Life. I was born in the church, and one of the visions of the church is to really serve the community, which has always been part of our history. And so growing up as a child, I had the opportunity to serve in various outreach endeavors that the church had, such as I can remember as a child playing an instrument in our church orchestra and taking the music during the holidays and going and visiting various nursing homes, such as Laconia Nursing Home, Amsterdam, and various other homes, nursing homes. We would go and play songs, and eventually that led to other more community outreach programs that I'm involved in. And as I became matured in the church and became older in my 20s, I then was encouraged by Pastor William Mosley, who is the pastor of the church, to begin to work with Children's Village and Abbott House and many of these after-school municipalities. And so we've done a lot of outreach, and that outreach has actually impacted my career at Pace, where I actually teach civic engagement courses. So I'm so happy that Elder Ray and Elder John are with me here as well, and I'm going to pass it over to Elder Ray to introduce herself. And again, thank you so much for having us.
Thank you.
Good morning. Thank you for inviting us to share part of our vision. And my name is Rachel Sampson, and I am also a product of Youth Mission of Life. My parents were married in the church, and I was born there. So while I have visited other churches, Youth Mission of Life has been my church. Also, as a youth, had the opportunity to not only work with youth, but we did a number of Christian day camp services during the summer, and started not only as a child being a product of enjoying, but then as I grew older, was a mentor for many of the youth and became one of the team leaders for Christian Day Camp, which started many, many years ago, and we have continued that product as well.
Right, we have to take a break, just a 5-minute break, and then right after that, we'll chat with Elder John Sarlo, and we'll ask you a little bit about yourself, and then we'll learn more about the church and all the great social service programs that you're offering the community. I'm Paul Feiner, Greenburgh Town Supervisor. Thank you.
1460 WVOX.
Now back to the Greenburgh Report on 1460 WVOX. Once again, here's Greenburgh Town Supervisor Paul Feiner.
Good morning, I'm Paul Feiner. I'm the Greenburgh Town Supervisor, and we have a very special program today. My guests are Professor Pauline Mosley, Elder Rachel Sampson, and Elder John Sarlo. And we're talking to them about the Youth Mission of Life Incorporated. It's a church, and they have a church home at 375 Dobbs Ferry Road in the town of Greenburgh, and also some churches in the Bronx. So, Elder Sarlo, could you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, good morning, Paul. Thank you so much for having us. Unlike Elder Ray and Pauline, I was not born into the church. I came into the church maybe 12, 13 years ago. And what really attracted me to the church was not only their willingness to work with the youth in the community. Being a retired teacher, now I'm retired. When I came in, I wasn't retired. But being a retired teacher, I always have the youth at mind. And just enjoying all the programs that they have for the youth. Their CDC, or Christian Day Camp, that they run for 2 weeks every July. Their basketball camp that they now have, that we're working on getting a time schedule for. Due to the pandemic, it's been rough getting people involved. But also, so many other programs that they have with the youth, their music program. And I enjoy doing all of this, and that's what attracted me to come to Youth Mission.
What's an elder? Could you explain that for people who may not be that familiar with religious titles?
I would I guess it's a degree of commitment, as well as maybe, I would say more of a degree of commitment. What do you think?
Yeah, I would agree with you, Sister Ray. An elder really just assists the pastor in various functions, programs, has a little bit more responsibility, is overseer of treasury and various church matters and programs. Pastor kind of relies on the elders to facilitate these programs, mitigate if there are any conflicts, if there should be, and also to encourage and advise youth in his absence. I would say that. And we also have other programs, like John had mentioned, the food pantry, right, John?
Yeah, the food pantry, they work very closely with, I'm sorry, the name is drawing a blank. The
Feeding
Westchester. And Feeding Westchester brings a truck up once or twice a month. And, I've never realized until I actually saw the program in effect how many people are really in need, even in Westchester. We also have our own food pantry, where a couple of Saturdays a month, where we open up and we have a food bank, so to speak, through donations that that people come by and pick up food.
That is really amazing. What's your website? Because now that I know that you're giving food, people people who are hungry may be interested.
It's youthmissionoflife.org, and the food pantry and the food pantry services, and also Operation Shoebox are under the purview of Elder Stella Flemister, who runs that program. And all the information is up on our website so about all of these programs and MOPS and MOPS Next and our CDC and various programs that we offer. And as John and Rachel both mentioned, one of the things which our Pastor William Mosley is very passionate about is helping the youth in the community. So we have launched a Good Samaritan Scholarship. Would either of you want to talk on that, John or Ray?
I think we've done that for a couple of years, haven't we?
Yeah, we've
Yeah.
done it. We've done the youth the scholarship program. It's a Good Samaritan scholarship, where children in the community get because of their Good Samaritan works. That
Community
they get
involvement.
community involvement, right? And what they get is they get a scholarship that goes directly to the college in their name to help them pay their tuition, to help them pay for their books and so on.
That's great. So it seems like the nice thing about your church is that not only are people praying, but they're actually living as an example and doing good work in addition to praying.
Exactly.
Correct. That's our vision.
Absolutely.
Right.
And that's
Our
part
vi-
of our vision.
Right, that's our vision.
Because you could go to church or synagogue
Right.
and pray, and then you could beat up on everybody else, or you could live a life where, by example, you're helping others. Let me ask you a question in terms of the food pantry. Do you have to be a member of the congregation to get the help that you need?
No.
No, not
No.
at all.
Not at all.
No.
It's
And
it's
we have
open.
been actually, it's been a real tremendous insight and a blessing to be able to see that so many of those that have been recipients of the food pantry are just, they're so happy. And we've kind of gotten to know them, and we've built relationships of some of them. Some of them have even come and brought their kids to say, we're going to be part of the food pantry, but we also want to help and serve. So they've brought their teenagers, and there's like, we're going to go to the food pantry, and you're going to be part of serving and being not on the other end
That
of
is-
actually serving.
That is
Right.
so great.
Yeah, I just wanted to add to that the food pantry was in response to the pandemic in 2020. It started in 2020, and the pantry distributes pre-bagged groceries every third Saturday of the month from 12 to 1. So we're very, very happy to have this program. In 2020, we served 15 families, and now we're up to an average of 60 families.
That's
So really
great.
happy to be impacting the community in such a phenomenal way under the direction of Stella Flemister.
That is great. We'll be right back. We have a little break, and could you tell us again how people could contact the church?
youthmissionoflife.org. Excuse me. youthmissionoflife.org, and everything that we're talking about today is up there right on our website.
And it's and you're located at 375 Dobbs Ferry Road in the town of Greenburgh.
Yes.
Yes.
Good. I'm Paul Feiner, Greenburgh Town Supervisor. Speak to everybody in a couple minutes.
1460 WVOX.
Now back to the Greenburgh Report on 1460 WVOX. Once again, here's Greenburgh Town Supervisor Paul Feiner.
Hi, my name is Paul Feiner. I'm the Greenburgh Town Supervisor, and today we're celebrating the 70th anniversary of Youth Mission of Life Incorporated. It was founded in 1952 by Helen McClung, and they have a church at 375 Dobbs Ferry Road in Greenburgh. And my guests are Professor Pauline Mosley, who's a professor at Pace University, and Elder Rachel Sampson and Elder John Sarlo. And it's really a very interesting program because this church does more than just have services. They really try inspiring young people to do good in the community. And we were talking about the food pantry that the church has, and I'm sort of wondering if the church gets donations from supermarkets, because a couple of years ago, town board successfully lobbied all the state to pass a law saying all surplus food has to be donated to the poor. And I'm sort of curious if supermarkets are complying with the law.
Based on what I've seen and know from Stella, yes, they have been getting food from Acme. They've also been getting food from Wegmans, Stop and Shop, just to name a few of them. And I'm sure there are other stores, but those are the ones that we have been seeing, and we've been seeing on a regular basis. So that has really helped the community and helped us in serving the community with a number of things that they really need.
That's great. I was also going to ask Pauline, you're a professor and understand the role of technology and the importance of technology. And I'm sort of wondering how technology has impacted religious institutions. How have you benefited from it?
With technology during this pandemic has been a tremendous problem solver in enabling churches all over to get together and fellowship through Zoom and Teams and various other modalities of software to bring them virtual. So we're now seeing is a blended approach we're moving into, where old folks or people that are sick, or if you're not feeling well, you still can attend a service through Zoom. So the technology has really been wonderful. Although the pandemic birthed a new way of reaching people. Would you say that, John? Or Rachel?
Yeah, we're also not only reaching the people that can't get to service every Sunday, but the people now, we're getting people to join us from as far away as Nigeria. To join our service. And we have people in Texas. We have people from North Carolina, South Carolina,
Maryland.
and for the Maryland. And the people that are moving away due to other certain circumstances, we find that their children are keeping in touch with us, which is very important.
So actually, are you finding as a result of a pandemic that more people are becoming members of a congregation, or did people, because they're so used to not attending services in person, do they sort of just forget, and has enrollment declined?
Well, it is really still a work in an ongoing work, because we have to keep in mind that we can't let the people who are able to get to service, we have to work on not letting them become complacent and just be able to sit in front of their TV at home and not get dressed, and they can sit there in their pajamas and watch service. Well, that's all well and good, but it's really it's really very important to be in the house of God on a Sunday. And for those that can make it, we try to urge them to get there if they possibly can. So we have to be cognizant of those that can make it.
Because I'm wondering, this is probably a problem all over and with every religion.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, this is a systemic
And the
problem.
pandemic has, exacerbated a lot
Exactly.
of it.
It's a challenge we're all facing and confronting. But to answer your question again, with technology has also birthed some new exciting programs that we have on our website, which is MOPS and MOPS Next. And MOPS stands for Mothers of Preschoolers, and is for moms of young children, birth through kindergarten. And this is a place where moms can find support and encouragement. And through technology and online programs, it brings this group and community together. And Moms Next is the extension of that. And again, all this can be found on our website, youthmissionoflife.org.
That is, that is great. And it seems like, people grow up in the church, and when they have their kids, you're giving young people the opportunity to appreciate the importance of religion in their lives.
Absolutely, and faith
Right.
and community
and service.
and service. Absolutely.
I remember Pauline, when I first met you, there was a kid. I think there was a kids present at the Greenburgh Library. And Can you
Correct.
mention a little bit about that?
Absolutely. Kids Present is a collaborative effort between the Youth Mission of Life, the Greenburgh Public Library, and also you, Paul Feiner, that encourages kids K through 12 throughout the Westchester area to take their talents and become confident. The core of the program is really for children to gain confidence through presenting. And as you see, as Rachel, we grew up, and also John, these programs, these outreach programs that we do within the church cultivate confidence, public speaking, and community orientation. And so this is a phenomenal program that kids present, which we hope to resume now that we're coming out of the pandemic, if you would say. We hope to resume that and encourage kids to present their talents and become confident.
That is, that is really great, because I guess if people, young people, if they're insecure, that impacts their whole lives. And if you build people up, it really can make a very, very big difference.
Correct.
Absolutely. We take the passion of the child, whether it's drawing, dancing, music, whatever they're passionate about, and we ask them to put together a 1 to 3 minute presentation. And with the help of Nicole is one of the head librarians there at the Greenburgh Public Library, they present. They present it on Sunday in front of an audience, and we welcome the community to encourage and instill confidence and self-efficacy within our children. So it's a wonderful, wonderful program.
So even if somebody's not like a superstar, but they might be awkward or whatever, you want to constantly build them up and make them feel good about themselves, and they don't really have to be the number one best person in the world. Some people who might be struggling in youth become successful and very happy in life later on.
Absolutely.
Correct.
In carrying on with that, Paul, I wanted to mention one other program that we've done in the past. It's with the Slater Center. That it was an after-school program, and what we did was we helped the kids with their homeworks. We made snacks with them. Mm-hmm. We baked cookies and so on. And it really turned out to be a wonderful thing, so much so that there was one year that it was just before the pandemic, I think, that
Absolutely.
during the Christmas program, I actually taught 7 or 8 kids how to play the guitar that never picked up the guitar in their life.
Yes.
And to see them take this talent that they never knew they had and be able to put it to their fingers on a fretboard was so rewarding.
Where did you teach before?
I taught earth science, geology, and astronomy at Beacon High School.
Oh, that's great. Mm-hmm. So they're very lucky to have a lot of your members educators.
Yes. She's taught too.
Professionals as well. Mm-hmm.
Where did you teach?
I actually was a clinical coordinator at Norwalk Community College.
Oh wow! Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So people are getting the best education just being a member of your church.
We try.
That's what we do.
That's what we do. We serve at it.
We work very hard at it.
That's great. I'm Paul Feiner. We'll be back in a couple minutes, and we're talking about the Youth Mission of Life Incorporated. And your website again is
youthmissionoflife.org.
Great. And they're located at 375 Dobbs Ferry Road in Greenburgh.
Yes, and our pastor is Pastor William Mosley.
Thank you. I'm Paul Feiner.
Now back to the Greenburgh Report on 1460 WVOX. Once again, here's Greenburgh Town Supervisor Paul Feiner.
Good morning. I'm Paul Feiner, Greenburgh Town Supervisor, and today we have a very special program with Professor Pauline Mosley, Elder Rachel Sampson, and Elder John Sarlo, and they're talking about the Youth Mission of Life, which is celebrating its 70th anniversary. A few months ago, the Greenburgh Hebrew Center celebrated their 70th anniversary, and we had them on program. And maybe you could just tell us a little bit about the history of the church.
Our history began in 1952. The church was founded by Helen McClung, and at that time, the vision, which was then and is now, was to share the love of God with the community and for the people of the church to develop and maintain a personal relationship with the Lord. And so our church began very small. We started in the Bronx. We had several church homes in the Bronx, and then eventually we moved up to 375 Dobbs Ferry Road. And all along, through each church home, the community was the center. And so for many years, the community was internal. And we worked with, building families and building children within the church. And as we grew and we became a little bit more successful, as we've gotten to 375 Dobbs Ferry Road, we've been able to do a lot more community or outreach programs. But all along through our history, since 1952, the community has been there in help in terms of delivering boxes when families were sick. I wasn't there, but those who were part of that church were delivering food boxes or Thanksgiving boxes to those who were in need. And many of the, I would say, seniors remember getting a food box at a very particular time in their life, challenging time of their life, when that was like the turning point of we have no food and here comes a box of food to celebrate, Thanksgiving, or a food box because the family was ill and things like that. So that has always been the thread. The community has always been the thread.
Right, and I'd also like to add that, in the early phases or years of the church, a lot of families were struggling financially, and church looking and knowing the need at Christmas time and holiday time, that some families did not have the means to provide gifts for their children, would go ahead and purchase gifts and make the holiday very happy for these children, or buy, as Rachel said, turkeys around Thanksgiving time or all year round, just trying to help support these families. And I think one of the threads of, in our mission, but when you overlook back and reflect back 70 years, it has always been in the pursuit of excellence. Whatever you do your best. So if you're a janitor, be the best janitor. Whatever you are, just be your best and try your best and try to serve your community and serve God and be the best person that you can be. Would you agree with that, Rachel?
I agree. And part of that community was also developing talents. So many of the women learned to sew. And during the Christmas time, when we had a program, many of the mothers sewed the outfits for their children, so that when we presented our program and our recital, we did our recitals, we all looked good because our mothers had learned how to sew. That was all part of the community. They had learned how to sew, and we all would show off our new outfits because of women who got together as a community.
That is so interesting because a few weeks ago, I was interviewing somebody on this program, Delia Marks, and we were talking about we want to set up a co-op where people would basically set up their own businesses and own it. We've been struggling because we're trying to get people to sign up, and this Westchester Co-op organization, they want to give $10,000 grants. So I was talking to somebody, I said, what do we really need? And one thought was taking like a storefront, say in Greenburgh near Dobbs Ferry Road, and having a seamstress. Having people to, who would do some sewing and stuff like that. So if there's anybody in your congregation who would be interested in participating in this co-op, actually you would be doing us a favor, because we want to actually take a vacant storefront in Greenburgh and make it a business where people who are out of work would actually have ownership. So
This is amazing.
That's amazing.
Because our founder was a seamstress. She
was a
actually
seamstress.
sewed.
No, but that would be really
Yeah.
terrific. So if
Yeah.
you want to be part of our group,
Yes.
I think that would be terrific. In fact, I was just during the intermission when I was looking at my iPhone, we have a meeting next Friday by phone, and maybe if you want to email me saying you're
Yes.
interested in the co-op
Yes.
concept,
That'd be great.
Yes, that would be
And-
awesome.
And that's really what we want to do is we want to figure out how we could help people who are out of work improve their
Absolutely.
lives.
Okay.
Well,
So
that's what
your
this-
church would be.
Right.
You have a
That's
food
what we've
pantry,
done. Yes.
but people who are getting the food because they may not have a job, they may have skills, and if we help them set up their own businesses, then they're not going to need the food pantry.
Right. Well, the church provides a holistic approach into these other skills. It's also soul, body, and mind. And so the spiritual aspect of having the mental aptitude that you can do better, you can succeed, that you have the mental stamina to push through whatever adversities you're there, and having your faith to rely upon to go through those adversities is what the church does. It supports that in addition to the caring and the support and that caring community that you need.
This would be really
Yes.
great. So there may be other businesses that people may want to do. You could have students doing their own tutoring.
Yes.
We could be training kids to learn how to repair electric cars because nobody knows that. So if you could think of skills that some
Talents.
people have who may not have jobs, we could create a co-op and replace a vacant storefront with a vibrant business. I just wanted to mention before the break, we were also talking, the town set up, when I first got in, a Snow Angels program where we have volunteers shoveling driveways of senior citizens. And we also are starting a landscape angels program where some people just can't afford to hire a gardener, and their homes may look like eyesores because the grass is 10 feet high. So we're trying to get volunteers to help out. So maybe some of the student members of your church might want to volunteer and be part of that initiative as well.
That's great.
Sounds wonderful.
That's great.
So we only have a few more seconds left, and I'm wondering if there's any closing comments you have.
Just that our services are on Sunday at 11:15 a.m. and we welcome anyone and everyone. Our doors are open, and we would love to see you and be part of our community and meet our pastor.
And your website again?
youthmissionoflife.org. And you can also stream the service, and you can also follow us on Zoom. Everything is right there on the website.
Great. Thanks so much for joining us, and I'll see everybody soon.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
for
Thank you
having
again,
us.
Paul.
I'm Paul Feiner, Greenburgh Town Supervisor, and we'll be back next week.